Hola! It's unsolicited advice here. You can follow me on Instagram, or I'm going to try this YouTube thing because Instagram does not seem to like my long form posts. Anything over like a minute, and I can't get a lot of viewers. So I thought I would try. I hate the sound of my voice, and this may be boring as hell to you, and if it is, that's fine. Just, but you might actually enjoy it. And so we're going to go through some products today, and we're going to get ready with me, and I'll tell you a little bit about my life, and, we'll go from there. Again, unsolicited advice on Instagram and on YouTube. So I thought today we would do a look featuring primarily Danessa Myricks products because she's very popular right now. She has her new Lightworks palette, which is beautiful, but those can be kind of intimidating because there's so many options. So yeah, let's get ready. So I'm going to start with my Refer, my good old Refer moisturizer. I tend to use the white one, which is 2.0 in the summer, and then I'll use the 1.0 in the winter because it's much thicker. I think I like that one better, the thicker one. I think it, but it's a little heavy this time of year. So I keep thinking that it's going to get cooler, but it's not. And that's kind of, not my favorite thing in the world, because it's hard to see, like, pumpkins and stuff out when it's still 90-something degrees. It's hard to be really happy right now. I don't want to be, like, a bummer. But I've just been struggling a lot lately, and, yeah. So we'll go from there. Maybe I'll tell you more as we go. So I'm going to grab a few things. Let's start with my Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer. I've got a couple of eyeshadow primers. I like the Pat one. Urban Decay, of course, has one. I love the new Lisa Eldridge one. The tinted primers. But my, old-fashioned, or not, I guess not old-fashioned, but my dependable one that I go with is always the Rare Beauty one. And it's pretty reasonably priced, too. I just like the consistency. I think it's thin. It doesn't make it to where it's difficult to, blend shadows around it. So we're going to do Danessa today. I thought I would do one warm look and one cool look. So I'm going to start with my Moisture Repair Balm Serum. It's a universal shade. And it's just to give a little bit of extra moisture. And I really just primarily use it here under my eye. I learned this trick on one of her Teach Me Tuesdays, to put this under your concealer. And then I put somewhere I get really dry. But otherwise, it's too thick and it's too thick to use a ton of. So you just use a little bit of it. So I have some other products from Miss Danessa Myricks, but I don't have everything that she offers. I would love to get her brushes, the ones with my Kitco. But that is money I don't have right now. I'll say why. So there's been some changes at my work. I work in higher education. And they've decided to move our office to a different office. And there's just been some changes. And I'm really struggling with the way that people that I thought cared about me and my work have been treating me, and it's been really hard. It's not something I expected. I'm really good at my job. I've been at this particular institution for 5 years now. Students like me, faculty, staff. It's a toxic work environment. So I'm going to start with, before we go deep into that, the Groundwork palette. This one's the Blooming Romance, because I think that this will lay a foundation, and I want to grab the mattes from it. So I'm going to grab my brush, and over here we'll do the cooler look, and over here we'll do the warmer look. So I'm going to grab the color Allure, and just kind of use that to blend out the crease. You know, I like these putty shades, but I do find that they can be a little bit tricky to use sometimes. So what I do is I'll put the putty down first, and then I'll go back in with the powder, and that really heightens the color up a lot. And you know, you can mix the colors. Like if you find that the putty is too dark, you could go in with a lighter powder, or you know, vice versa. And then on the cooler side over here, let's go with Bliss. So I'm going to go with this kind of more, it's a little bit more brown based, a little bit more burgundy. It's a pretty color though. And you know, you can use these as blushes too. The only thing is, it's hard to get a brush in there to use as blushes. I kind of wish that the putty and the powders were reversed. But you see right there, so we've got one that's much darker. That's the Bliss look. And then over here we've got Allure. So back to the drama of my life. So how many of you have ever dealt with workplace bullies? I feel like people don't talk about it a lot, but I have two people in my workplace, and they do tactics that it's almost like junior high school. We were a small office, and they'll pick on people, or they'll just ignore them for weeks on end, and then you get into meetings and they suddenly talk all about their issues with other people, but then they don't talk to them otherwise. I just wonder if this is like a common problem. Like a lot of people experience that now. I don't know. I'm going to grab my Pat McGrath Intensify wand, which you know is one of my most repurchased items. But it works so good with like Pat Special Shades or Danessa, because it provides a base that's really kind of sticky, and it makes everything so much more opaque and meaningful. And I also put it on the inner corner. So yeah, I have to repurchase that quite a bit. So let's grab the new Danessa Myricks Beauty Palette. This is the Lightwork Volume 6 Freedom. So let's do on the side that's the kind of the warmer side. Let's try this fall palette here. I don't know, it just screams like fall, summer to me. And then on the other side, maybe we'll try a mix of kind of the pinks and blues. So yeah, so workplace bullying, is that something that like, I'm going to go in with this kind of reddish color here. Is that something that like a lot of people still experience? And here's the problem for me. I'm kind of in the HR world. So it's my office that investigates workplace bullying claims. Which, you know, it sounds funny, but it's not, because we're kind of like the last people. We should not be having these issues, and yet we have them. And it's because people like these bullies are allowed to get away with what they do. And I don't know. I feel like my supervisor almost thinks it's funny. I don't know. So I'm going to grab this color here, and I'm just going to take it on my finger. I know some people don't like using it on your finger, but you get such so much more pigment and such a more payoff. Okay, that is a pretty color. And I'm going to kind of morph it into that first color, that reddish color over there. Yeah, that's nice. Then we have some options. I don't think I'm going to use the green. I'm not good at this. See, like the Charlotte Holdcross, the Patties, the Tanaya, they're so good at this. And I am not good at this because everything's backwards to me. This orange is very pretty. Let's see. We're going to swatch these and see what looks best. Oh, I think I know, but we'll look. Oh, that's very pretty. That is very yellow. I don't think that's going to be the winner. Yeah, that's the winner. So I think I'm going to use that color. Or maybe a little bit of the mix of the two down here. So these two. So I'm going to start with the yellow. I'm not a big yellow person, but I'm just going to put a little tiny bit here just to add a little something. Bridging into that heavy multi-chrome, that greenish gold one. And then we'll go in here on the inner portion of the lid. Oh wow, that is a crazy beautiful color. That is really nice. That is like fall in a look. That is crazy. So while we have the palette out, let's do the cooler eye. Do we want to do the blues and purples or the pinks? Or is there a way we could do them both? Let's do the pinks with maybe a little bit of the blue on the inner corner. So I'm going to go in down here because these are the two that are like more of a satin. And I'm going to grab the darker purple shade. Oh, that works really well with that shade from Blooming Romance. Danessa's really inventive. Is everybody getting ready for the holidays? I know, it's hard to think about, but it's crazy because they're coming. Let's see. Let's look at the 4 shades that we have here. Okay, these are pretty icy. I think I'm going to go with this one here. I'm always impressed with her formulations because they're so smooth. So let's try this one. And again, I know some people don't like their finger being used, but I'm not one of those people. I don't mind. That's pretty. And then let's go into the one that's a little bit more like just kind of a light pinky gold. Okay, that one is more like neon colored. That's interesting because in the pan it looks much more muted. And then up here, no, you know what? Let's try the blue. I said we were going to try to mix them. So we're going to try to cool this look down with this blue. Okay, that's a choice. I'm going to take this color here, which is a very thin formulation, but God, it's gorgeous. And I'm going to put that over, I'm going to like tap it over the pinks because what I want to do is kind of have a meeting of the minds on these colors, like kind of have it be both warm and cold. Not warm and cold, you know, a warm look and a cool look. So I'm going to take this color again. That might be my favorite color in the palette. That is crazy. And just highlight the center. That's nice. And then I'm going to take this color here, which is kind of a little bit creamier. It's also chunkier. So you want to be careful with these kind of colors. And I'm going to pull that up with my finger. But see, the reason why on these that are a little bit chunkier, I find that brushes don't work as well with them. Or you just don't get as much pigment. So let's clean this up because let's go in with our next Danessa product. which is her Spectacular concealer. She did a really nice job with this. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to cover my face with her Yummy Skin primer, which is a nice product. It's thin, which I like. It's not terribly goopy, and it works well with her products. I need to still figure out that thing where, you know, like certain primers are supposed to go with certain types of foundations. I saw the Lipstick Lesbians talking about it, and I need to figure that one out. Because, like, why does the Merit Stick work so well with the Merit Primer? You know, like that great serum or whatever? I don't know. I don't know the science of that. So, now that I've got that on, I've got 2 shades of the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Lift and Flex Concealer for Eyes and Face Corrector. That is intense. Okay, 4 is my under eye shade, and 6 is kind of my spot. And then sometimes if I'm a little bit more tan, I'll kind of mix them. So let's see if we can spot correct with number 6. That's pretty. So anyway, I really would be interested in knowing if that's like a common problem that a lot of people have. Because now I'm like looking for another job. It's really hard. And management has done absolutely nothing about it. And in some cases, they have encouraged it. I'll give you an example. So we are a pretty small team, and we have a it's kind of like me and 2 of the others get along really well, and then the other 2 get along really well, but then those 2 groups do not get along. And one of those 2 people in the other group is just incredibly difficult, and the other one is a brown noser. And so anyway, a while ago, we started to notice that those 2 stopped sharing their calendars with us. And we were like, that's not good, because, you know, you want to be able to see what others are doing in case somebody comes in or they have an appointment. And so I remember asking our, like, boss, I was like, do you know why these 2 people stopped sharing their calendars? And she's like, I don't know. I mean, I noticed that too. That was very strange. And then a few weeks later, or maybe a few months later, we were in like some sort of team building, and it came up because they said, you know, it would be really nice if we all shared our calendars again. And me and the other 2 were like, well, yeah, but, you know, we stopped sharing our calendars because you stopped sharing your calendar. And they were like, well, we only stopped sharing it because our boss told us to do it. So the same boss who told me she didn't know why they stopped sharing their calendars is the same boss who told them to stop sharing their calendars. Like, she enables the bullying behavior. Not a great boss. It's hard for me too, because as a person, I really liked her. You know, this is something that we worked through. This is the 4, by the way. This is something where we like worked through COVID and stuff. So I have a good connection with her, and I'm going to put just a little bit of the darker one in the middle. Just because I don't want the other one to be too light. And so I'm going to go in here. Yeah, because the 6 is a little bit more yellow, and the 4 is a little bit more peach. Now, I wear the 4 in the winter in her, what's it called? The serum tint. But now I wear a 5 in the summer, or if I've been tanning. You know, well, I don't go to the tanning bed, but, you know, like I've been out in the sun. Which really only happens like once or twice a year because I go to the US Open, but otherwise I'm kind of a slave to air conditioning. Okay, so that looks nice. So I'm going to go back in with those colors that we used from Blooming Romance. On the one side, we used Allure. So I'm going to just take that, and I'm using a big kind of fluffy brush from Sonia Krushik because I don't want it to be too perfect. So I've done that, and then on the other side we'll do Bliss, because this is the darker but cooler side. Yeah, that looks nice. Do I want to do any of the color underneath? I wonder if we could do, like, we used that blue as kind of a topper on the one, but I wonder if we could put some of that blue underneath. If that would look really weird. Maybe this blue would be too patriotic, but maybe this purpley blue one might be nice. So I'm going to try that. Okay, that oddly kind of works. It grounds the look down a little bit. And what I'm going to do is just kind of smudge it along the lash line. Okay, what that's doing with the pink and the blue, mixing the two palettes, is creating kind of a mermaid look, which I'm not mad at. That looks pretty good. In fact, I have an idea as to how we can really sell the deal on that. And then on this pink one, I'm going to go into this color because I didn't use it, and maybe this color. So let's start down here with this one. And then I'm going to go up to this purple, because this is the more warmer look. And so I really don't want a lot on the bottom lash. And then I need to marry it together with that look that we, or that color that we used in the corner. And I'm going to go in with that. You know what I wish there was? Like a dark metallic brown. But this red will work. And I could have always gone into my, what's it called? Defining Neutral Groundwork. The brown one. I get intimidated by those palettes sometimes. Okay, those look pretty cool. So now we have the age-old, you know, debate of what eyeliners do we want to use. I have some Danessa Myricks ones. Let me see. I haven't used them in a while. And they're actually kind of cool. So I think I have 3 colors. Yeah, like 3 colors. So we have Morganite, which is like a peach. We have Rose Quartz, which is like a pinky kind of color. And then we have Jade, which is a green. So I'm going to do the warmer one, Morganite, on the warm eye. And these are very shifty. She sometimes puts these on sale too, and they're good. I like them. I've seen online people say that they don't last. I mean, they're not like black coffee from Pat McGrath that's going to last quite a while. I'm going to use, no, I'm not going to use Jade. I'm going to use Rose Quartz on the other one. I need to grab like a blue one. I wonder if she has like a blue or purple. Though I kind of like the lighter colors, because I'll show you why. I'm going to define that out a little bit more. So let's grab our Refer Curler. So anyway, I'm pushing these up. Okay, I'm always afraid I'm going to stab my fucking eye. Okay. So anyway, you know, I have always really loved my boss. And I think that that's at the detriment sometimes of what's right, because I've tried to protect her. And I've learned recently that she doesn't give a shit about protecting me. And is that where we're at now in this world? I mean, it's just so sad to me. There's no loyalty. So I'm going to go with the brown YSL Lash Clash, which anyone who knows me knows the YSL mascara is my favorite. I'm going to go with the brown over here because this look is autumn. And then on this side over here, I'm going to do the electric blue Lash Clash from YSL. Well, it would help if I grabbed it. I apparently grabbed the black one. I need the electric blue one. Why they don't put the color on the top, I do not understand. Of course, I could make a label, but that would require a label maker, which I do have. So it's just an excuse. I know that Sophia Sees Beauty lady loves a label maker, but I have some of my, like I have my drawers labeled, but I don't necessarily, you know, have my products labeled. I just wish that these brands would make the color of the compact match what's inside. Like I know Prada did that at Harrods. You could get like a custom scratching on their, what do you call them, on their quads, but that wasn't like the norm. And then I saw that YSL's doing it with their new blushes, and I think that's so smart because like my favorite blushes are Gucci, but you can't tell when you're looking at them which one's which is really frustrating. You have to look at the back and dig through all of them to figure it out. I mean, that's a first world problem, I get it, but still, you get the point. Okay, so now we can go in with a little bit of Danessa setting powder. Now, everybody complained about the Givenchy reformulation, and I get it. I love the Givenchy powder, but the Danessa Myricks setting powder is the closest thing I've found to the Givenchy. Like, it's super thin, it's really light, and it works really well, and it's half the price. It's this one right here. I have mine in pink. This is the Evolution Priming Smoothing Setting Powder. So there you go. Okay, so let's get back into the palette just to do the inner corners. So on the fall colored eye, I'm going to grab the fall colored lightest color, which is this, and really concentrate it. I like to do it on my pinky because it really concentrates it. And then on this one over here, I want to really concentrate that crazy beautiful color. And maybe take a little bit of it under. Okay, I just grabbed the wrong color. I grabbed from the pink set, but I don't hate that, so that's fine. You do what you gotta do. Okay, so eyes are done. Let's grab the Yummy Skin Serum Tint, Serum Skin Tint. And this is my favorite skin tint. I've got Chanel, I've got Westman Atelier, RMS. I do like the RMS one a lot. Rose Inc, Hourglass. But for whatever reason, I really like this one. I just came back from New York, and the last 2 years I've been there, I just wear this every day, and it's perfect. You know, it's not full beat, but it gets the job done. Okay. And I am, on this particular one, it works so well with that concealer that I just use my hands, which I know some people hate, but you don't have to. That's okay. You don't have to. So I don't have a Danessa Myricks bronzer, and I don't really feel like I want to do a heavy bronze look today anyway. So I'm going to grab just my favorite Westman Atelier in Biscuit and just do a little bit of contour. And because it's one of the mini ones, I can do the nose. if it was one of the bigger sized ones, it's too thick to get in there. And that's when I use the Victoria Beckham. But I don't really use the Victoria Beckham for anything but my nose because it's so freakishly expensive. So here's a rose ink. And I'm just gonna, you know, I've tried the Dior, which is nice. I've tried, what other ones do I have? I've got one from Flash. I've got the one from Nude Sticks. It's just really hard to beat the Westman Atelier one. And I've probably gone through 5 of the minis and probably 4 of the large ones. I love that product so much. And this is in the color Biscuit. I've never tried the color that's slightly darker. I wonder if it would be good in the fall. Okay, and then I'm going to just go in with this contour here. Yeah, that'll do. So, I don't have a Danessa Myricks blush. I know they're supposed to be really beautiful, but I do have Blooming Romance. I don't have any romance blooming in my life. So I'm going to just take a little bit of that. And on this side, you know what? Let's match what we did. So I'm going to take Allure. And then I'm just going to smear it out. This is not fancy pantsy. That's the only thing, is you can't use a bigger brush because it just causes a mess. But you're going to see. I'm not going to need it anyway. And then on this side, I'll use the Bliss, which is the one that I used on this side, which is a little bit rosier. But what I can do is just place the product with a smaller brush and then go back in with my foundation brush. Ooh, Armani Beauty's having a sale. I feel like my phone is blowing up this time of year. So anyway, I just wonder how prevalent bullying in the office is. It's hard, I'll give you that much. So on this side over here, the more fallish color one, I'm going to use one of her lowlighters in Low Key. This acts as kind of a highlighter and a blush topper. And I don't have any like freestanding Danessa highlighters, but I do have this lowlighter, which I like this product. Sometimes I don't know exactly what it's for, but if you use it as kind of a highlighter and blush topper in one, it works really well. And it's not as like wah, wah, wah as like a highlighter, because you know some of those can go bananas. And I love bananas, don't get me wrong. And then on the other side, we'll use Unbothered, which is the kind of pinky color. I need to grab some of her regular blushes. Or maybe she'll be kind enough to send some sometime. That would be really nice. I'm supposed to be on their PR list, I think. We emailed back and forth for a while, but then I haven't received anything. But then again, the only PR since I got that email would have been the Lightwork, and I'm sure they're not sending a $128 palette to people who have, you know, 30 viewers. Not that you're not beautiful 30 viewers, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm gonna do my brow. I've got the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil, and I am a 4.5, and I feel like I'm gonna have to get another one of these soon. So yeah, life has been tough lately. I came back from New York, and pretty much the day I got back, shit hit the fan at work. And so I am currently interviewing everywhere I can, because the writing's on the wall. And it makes me really sad, because I love my job. See, this isn't as fun as Charlotte Holdcroft or Patty Alonso. And I'm sorry. Okay, and then for a lip, I'm going to do one of the Queen Museas. I think these are really beautiful. I did get these in PR, but I really like the formula. I have Becky Sharp, which is kind of a pinky muted rose color. And then I have Molly Bloom, which is an orange color. I'm going to do the pinky one. The other one seems a little bit summery. And I'm not doing like a liner or anything. I don't want this to be too perfect. Yeah. Looks really nice. So yeah. Tell me if you got any ideas for my little channel here. You know, I still love Instagram, and that's probably what I'll do more, but they just don't seem to like the longer content videos. And let me know your feelings on if you've worked in a toxic workplace before. It destroys you from the inside. But this, from Danessa Myricks, is anything but toxic. It is beautiful. We have a warmer kind of fall look over here. And then we have kind of a cooler pink or blue winter look over here. I think they're both great. Let me know which one you think is better. You know, the thing about Danessa Myricks too is when you see her online, it makes me go, that's the kind of person I want to work for. I would love to work for her. I mean, that's the kind of person that I want to work for, that I can respect. Who knows? Just some musings. Anyway, follow me on Instagram, follow me on YouTube, and let's see what this looks like when it's all finished with some pictures. Okay, bye!